Here, look, Minister, I'd like to ask you for an update on the selection of the contractor for the Glasheboy flood relief scheme, the length of time the process will take, and an assurance it will be done as quickly as possible. O'Sullivan.
Thanks, and thanks, Deputy. The Glasheboy River Flood Relief Scheme at Glenmire and Sellybrook in Cork is being progressed by Cork City Council. The Office of Public Works, in partnership with the Council, are engaging proactively to progress the flood relief scheme for Glenmire. The scheme was confirmed in January 2021 by my colleague, the Minister for Public Expenditure and Reform, under the Arterial Drainage Acts of 1945 to 95. The scheme is being funded from the €1.3 billion in flood relief measures under the National Development Plan to 2030 as part of Project Ireland 2040, and provision for the total project budget for this scheme is included in the Office of Public Works multi-annual capital allocation to the Department. The Office of Government Procurement, Inflation and Supply Chain Delay Cooperation Framework Agreement, published on the 20th of May 2022, will help address the appropriate inflationary costs. The Glasheboy Flood Relief Scheme will protect approximately 100 properties from a significant risk of flooding in the area. And there is currently a procurement process underway, which the Deputy alluded to appoint a contractor for the scheme. As the procurement process is ongoing, it wouldn't be appropriate for me as Minister to make any further comments at the moment, and I would expect that the procurement process will be complete in the coming weeks.
Minister, look, you're fully aware, as is Minister McGrath. He met with residents a few years ago about the long history of flooding there in Glenmire. There was flooding events in 2009, 12 and 15. And in 2012, approximately 51 residences and 42 commercial premises were affected, and it cost tens of millions in damages. So we were delighted in 2021 when yourself and Minister McGrath did confirm that the scheme would progress. Unfortunately, it seems, I believe it was one of the first schemes that were approved actually by your departments. But unfortunately, it seems to be one of the first that is going to fall foul of the inflation that we're suffering at the moment. I understand that Cork City Council are working with the OPW at the moment to try and progress the scheme, and that I believe that Cork City Council are seeking a number of legal clarifications in the event that the successful contractor has dropped out. Can you just maybe allude to what discussions or what legal clarifications the City Council are looking for? And I suppose just a general progress update, if you can, in relation to where we go if the contractor has dropped out.
Yeah, so thanks, Deputy, and you're right. This scheme was the first to be approved under the new arterial drainage regulations, which came into force in 2019. And I think it's important for me to say, on behalf of the Department, that Cork City Council, as you say, Deputy, are the lead authority in this, and they are the negotiating authority in the appointment of a contractor, which is commercially sensitive and is also confidential. So I'm precluded from uttering anything here that would in any way interfere in that, other than to say the Office of Public Works is committed to working with Cork City Council to try and form a resolution around this. And I know that the Council have also taken guidance from the Office of Government Procurement in respect of the appointment of a contractor, which would be normal in the appointment of contractors of this scale, because this is not an insignificant amount of properties. When you look at the areas that are to be covered, industrial estates in Sellybrook, shopping centres, housing estates, Glenmire village itself, towards O'Callaghan Park, and I know that the Deputy has raised this before, as have other deputies in the House, including Deputy Burke, but the OPW's commitment is unwavering in its commitment to the Cork City Council to move this forward.
Minister, look, I know you share the disappointment that myself and Deputy Burke, as you've mentioned, in relation to the way the scheme has progressed up to now. In relation to the possible withdrawal of the contractor, and I know you can't specifically comment on that while the process is live, but just generally speaking, in the event that an appointed contractor would withdraw from the process, which I believe is the case, but just generally speaking, is the normal process to revisit the existing tender list that went out? If you could clarify that. And as you said, it is disappointing for the residents and businesses there, particularly when in other parts of the country and in other parts of Cork City we do see OPW schemes and flood relief schemes being halted or slowed down for various other reasons. So this is a scheme that's ready to go, and it would be a shame to see it delayed any further.
Yeah, so Deputy, just in relation to, I suppose, the commitment of the government to the council on this, which is the lead authority, I think it's the opportunity for me in the Dáil to make it very clear the Office of Public Works is completely committed to this scheme. And I know there are residents that are anxious, there are traders that are anxious, representatives are anxious, but we are committed to it. It has planning permission. It is, as Deputy O'Sullivan says, ready to go, so we are committed to it. Any commercial discussions around the appointment of a contractor is a matter for the council. They will obviously receive guidance from the Office of Government Procurement, and indeed they have been in discussions with our own officials, but we would hope that the issues around appointment will be able to be resolved in the coming weeks, and we will be then in a position to move the scheme forward. That is on the basis that Cork City Council are in a position to appoint a contractor, which we hope they will be able to do, and once that's done, we will then be in a position to financially support them.